Here's the punchline nobody wants to hear up top. Some stars explode, some trend, and a rare few just quietly take your trophies while you're busy arguing on Twitter. Julian Alvarez is that last kind. He doesn't announce himself with fireworks. He steals your big nights with timing, work rate, and a grin that says, "I'll run again if you will." So let's do him justice. Let's tell the story behind the medals, the miles, and the maddening idea that a World Cup winning, Champions League winning, Premier League stacking forward could still be called a backup. Ready to talk about the most overlooked killer in the game? Before we jump into tactics and heat maps, park the obvious on the table. His honor roll is absurd. World Cup, in the bag. Champions League, yup. 2 Premier League titles. FA Cup, UEFA Super Cup, Club World Cup. Toss him in. Copa America too. If you unlocked that in career mode by age 24, your mates would accuse you of save scumming. And yet, Alvarez has done it with minimal fuss and maximum usefulness. No drama, no diva, just output. If charisma could press, it would look like him. But this didn't begin at City or in Qatar. It starts with River Plate, where you don't just play, you graduate. Calcin's quiet kid became River's ruthless edge. Neat first touch, ruthless movement, and finishing that feels like it's been practiced in an empty cage 1,000 times over. The beauty is in the simplicity. Scan, set, strike. He won there, properly. Got the pressure reps, got a big match rhythm, got the Copa Libertadores pedigree in his bloodstream. You can imagine him as a teenager at River, staying late after training, the Buenos Aires air cooling, lights fading, still shooting. There's no crowd, no cameras, just repetition. That's where this version of Julian was born, where hard work became habit. So when Manchester City paid about 14 million in January 2022, they didn't buy a promise, they bought a product. City kept him on loan a beat longer. Smart. Then dropped him into a dressing room that had just welcomed Erling Haaland, a skyscraper with boots. Most players would have panicked. Alvarez did the opposite. He learned. He decided to turn limited minutes into a masterclass in usefulness. Need cup goals? Got you. Need a late runner to kill a game? On it. Need a first defender from the front? He'll press you like your Wi-Fi bill depends on it. Tell me another World Cup caliber 9 who volunteers for the thankless gigs and smiles doing it. Year 1, 17 goals, 5 assists, 49 appearances, many from the bench, and, oh yeah, a treble. Premier League, FA Cup, Champions League, calm. Year 2, responsibility spikes. With injuries and tweaks, he becomes Pep's most used attacker, the Swiss Army forward who can be a 9, a second striker, or a false 10 in a pinch. 19 goals, 13 assists. The data loves him, but the tape loves him more. The decoy sprints, the clever angles, the way he locks a pivot out of a passing lane just by being annoying at exactly the right time. You can't model that hunger. You have to live it. And yet, the lightning bolt wasn't sky blue. It was Argentina blue. Qatar 2022 turned him from useful to undroppable. He started behind Lautaro, then took the shirt and welded it on. Watch that semi-final versus Croatia. He wins the penalty Messi converts, then scores 2 with the stubborn, pinball energy of a kid who refuses to hit the brakes. He ran patterns that made Messi's magic inevitable. Stretch the back line, punch the gap, finish with no nerves. 4 goals at a World Cup where every touch felt like a court case. That's not hype. That's hierarchy. Those nights in Qatar told you everything about who he was. Messi might have been the mind, but Alvarez was the muscle. Pressing, tracking, chasing every lost cause until it turned into a counter. When Argentina lifted that trophy, he didn't need a speech. His lungs had already done the talking. Now about the Aguero comparison. It's not lazy, it's oddly symmetrical. Kun became a City legend, then left a highlight reel that lives rent-free in enemy heads. Alvarez arrived later, won faster, then took a fork in the road Kun once walked. Atletico Madrid. In August 2024, Atleti paid a blockbuster fee to make him the centerpiece, not the cameo. And yes, everyone wondered, how does a Guardiola pattern reader fit a Simeone knife fight? Here's the secret. He fits because he can do both. He's a schemer who loves structure and a scrapper who loves scars. He'll press your fullback into the advertising boards, then combine in the half space like a number 10 who swallowed a metronome. That personality piece matters. Year 1 at City, he didn't pout, he pivoted. He learned team triggers like they were exam answers. When KDB drops, when Bernardo tucks, when Grealish finally releases after 37 feints, he became the yes in a room full of me. Yes, I'll run again. Yes, I'll press him. Yes, I'll play where the team needs. That's leadership disguised as humility. Managers love that. Teammates trust it. Opponents hate it. So what does he actually do that drives coaches wild? The pressing IQ is ridiculous. He doesn't just chase. He shepherds you into traps like a sheepdog with a stopwatch. With the ball, it's economy. 2-touch when it's on, 5-touch when it's up. The finishes aren't flashy, they're final. Low backlift, early strike, far post, thanks for coming. The movement is elite level obviousness. Obvious only after he's done it. He steps off your blind shoulder and you swear he teleported. Spoiler, he just read you faster than you read him. And this is why analysts love him. Every metric that matters, pressures, distance covered, attacking involvement, he's near the top, but those numbers miss the essence. He's not just efficient, he's emotional. Every sprint is conviction. Every finish is a message to the scouts who said he was too small, too polite, too normal. Numbers? If you insist. 17 and 5 in year 1 from scattered minutes. 19 and 13 in year 2 as a central piece. 4 in a World Cup where every blade of grass weighed 50 kilos. Toss in a Copa America for dessert. It's not just production, it's production in pressure. The man collects nerves like souvenirs. The overlooked truth is the timeline. Plenty of forwards who would flee the backup narrative for easy starts elsewhere. Alvarez sat, learned, and won. And only then rolled the dice on Atleti. Because he wants center stage with stakes, not comfort with captions. That's a career made on conviction, not comments. And Simeone will give him exactly the platform a self-starter deserves. A system that rewards work, a crowd that recognizes sweat, and big space moments to knife through with that same quiet violence you missed while staring at someone else's expected goals. Let's hit the fun barstool question. What is he really? A 9, a 10, or both? Yes. If your team lives on chaos and counters, he's your second striker chewing up transitions. If your team lives on structure and overloads, he's your false 9 hitting triangles and popping up in zones that analytics departments label "here be dragons." If you want a poacher, he'll wear the mask. The only label that sticks is winner. It's not sexy for brand decks. It is for trophy parades. And the Aguero shadow, he'll never be a carbon copy. Kun was pure hurricane in a shoebox. But the symmetry is there. City glory, Atleti chapter, iconic moments for the Albiceleste. The difference is that Alvarez already has the international crown. That medal changes your shoulders. It changes your stride. It changes the way a stadium feels when you step onto the grass. Where does this go next? Expect the classic Atleti partnership. Telepathy with a strike mate or hard-running 8s crashing beyond him. Expect the Metropolitano to fall for the guy who sprints like a 6 and finishes like a 9. Expect the big game nuisance value, the second balls, the scruffy goals, the one decisive press that flips a semi-final. Expect the quiet stats to roar after the final whistle. Because here's the essence. Alvarez wears greatness lightly. No soap opera, no me versus the algorithm monologues, just relentless, old-school belief that performance is the loudest influencer on earth. That's why he can share a pitch with supernovas and never look dim. He doesn't try to outshine star power. He outlasts it. Ask his teammates. They'll tell you he's first in, last out. Ask his coaches. They'll tell you he's uncoachable in the best way. Already wired to compete. Ask defenders. They'll tell you the worst thing about marking him isn't the running. It's the relentlessness. He doesn't stop believing there's one more ball to win. So here's the ask. Where do you rank him now? Still Haaland's understudy? Or the most valuable multi-tool forward in Europe? Would you rather mark the sprinter who announces his lane, or the smiling shadow who appears, scores, and jogs back like it's cardio day? Exactly. Drop your take below. 9, 10, hybrid? Did City cash out at the peak of a Swiss Army masterpiece? Or did Atleti just land the bargain of an era? And if you love stories about the humans behind the numbers, stick around. Next time, we're breaking down why some forwards press for tackles while Julian presses for time. Quiet killers don't trend every weekend. But somehow, when the ribbons come out and the cameras flash, they're always on the bus, smiling, medal heavy, and ready to run again.